All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Next Time in the Power. So a little bit of a different type of video today. My buddy CJ over at PricePlow, which is basically a supplement retailing company, they had this interview with Dallas McCarver, and he sent it over to me. And he said basically, since I have a larger audience, a lot more people, could see this interview if I posted it up on my channel. So I watched the interview. It was a very good interview. It was, during Dallas's prep for the 2017 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. There's some very good, interesting topics covered in that video, in that interview. So I thought you guys would enjoy seeing this because interviewing Dallas was something that I wanted to do. It's something that I was actually planning on doing, but it's something that I never got to do myself. So I wanted to post this interview with Dallas on my channel for you guys to enjoy. Rest in peace, Dallas McCarver. Here you guys go.
We're bouncing your titties on a on a Redcon ad, and that's how it started. So yeah, good job, man.
Yeah, started with a little bouncing titties, and we got it, and here we are.
Nice.
Welcome to PricePlow.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for having us, guys. I really appreciate it, man. Dude, you're like so close to the Arnold. I mean, just talking with me is awesome. Hey, thank you.
I appreciate it, man. I'm happy that you appreciate the a little tired, a little grumpy right now, so I'm happy. Thank you for being appreciative.
Yeah, man, for sure. Thank you.
That being said, it's an honor. So.
Well, welcome to the PricePlow YouTube channel. I'm here with Aaron Singerman and Dallas McCarver, like the Dallas McCarvers. This is awesome. So thanks for. Yeah, that's true. The Aaron Singerman, man. I got to be honest with you, and I actually wanted to say something to you, Aaron, first. Man, I'm seeing Redcon all over the place, man. It's like at PricePlow, we deal with so many brands and so many supplements, but I can't pull up Facebook or anything without seeing Redcon all over the damn place. So
that means we're doing something right.
I'm glad it's not just me, man. I was on the freaking internet shopping for I don't even remember, like shoes and clothes. Every time I get on the internet for anything, I get Redcon ads. So that lets me know that Aaron's staying on top of the digital marketing.
Yeah,
which is a big part of what we do here. And I think, as you said, we got kind of our own way of doing things here, but you can't get online without seeing us. So we're definitely pushing hard, and I'm very, it makes you proud, To me, it's cool, you get online and you're like scrolling and an ad pops up and you're like I was playing freaking Tetris on my phone on the plane the other day.
Yeah. Dude,
ad popped up and it was like, get Dallas McCarver's OIE Signature Series. I was like, holy shit, on a Tetris ad. Like, what the hell? It's cool. So yeah, it's really cool.
Actually, the last ad, it's funny. The last ad I saw was Dallas. You were bouncing your titties on a on a Redcon ad, and that's how it started. So yeah, good job, man.
Yeah, started with a little bouncing titties, and we got it, and here we are.
Nice. Okay, cool, man. Well, we'll kind of get into it. I'm way prepared right now, and I'm never prepared. So I was that excited, man. You are a hot thing on the scene right now, Dallas. And I started doing some research about you. And I'll be honest, man. I didn't know a lot about you until I found out we were going to get on the interview, and I started looking into you and kind of understanding some of your background. Dude, you got a lot of stuff going on, and you're about to turn 26, right?
I'll be 26 April the 9th.
Dude, yeah. So you're a young guy and a lot of stuff going on. That's awesome, man. So that's exciting.
I'm very fortunate and very blessed. I like to think that I've worked pretty hard, but very blessed individual, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, your birthday is it's 9 days before my birthday, so I also thought that was pretty good. Aries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. So first of all, the obvious question is, you're only a few weeks out from the Arnold. How do you feel right now, man? And I know that's a dumbass question, but we got to know how you feel.
Oh, I'm beat. I'm beat. But I'll be honest with you, regardless of what you might hear, what you might see around the internet, I know without a doubt this will be the best package I've ever brought to stage. Definitely be the best conditioning. This morning I was 7 pounds lighter than I was 3 days before the Olympia.
Oh wow. Oh, so your conditioning is going to be on point. Yeah.
Aaron, how's my conditioning?
I seen the pictures this morning, and I gotta say, it must be very difficult if I'm Dallas McCarver not to post them and be like, "Fuck you! Look at this!" You know? Very
Dude.
difficult. Put it that way.
That's awesome, man. I've been around the bodybuilding industry a little more on the local scene, man. Nothing like you guys, but so I'm actually from Austin, Texas. Well, actually originally from Waco, Texas, and live here in Austin. I've been in Austin for like 8 or 9 years now. So.
I was just curious. Sorry, it's not your interview. I'm just.
Oh no! Yeah.
No, I didn't know who or where you were, so I was just curious. But
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. And you're originally from Tennessee, right? Is that?
Yeah, Memphis area, West Tennessee. I've lived all over Tennessee. I had I originally grew up, like I said, West Tennessee, Memphis area. Rural, everywhere from Memphis to BFE, cow country,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've lived, I've had girlfriends and lived in Middle Tennessee. Before I moved down here, I was on the far east side of Tennessee next to the Georgia line. And honestly, I lived in Chattanooga. And until I moved here, I thought Chattanooga, it's a different kind of beautiful, but it's definitely one of the most beautiful cities I've ever seen, with the mountains and the river and the way the mountains surround the town, the river runs through the town.
That's cool.
It's very nice. So definitely a big change of scenery for me being down here, but it's, man, what a blessing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and that's one of the things I liked about you, looking into you and watching some of your old videos. I was like, this is a good old country boy right here. And I'm from I grew up on a farm in Texas, man. So like I can relate. And some of my closest friends here are actually from Tennessee, the Nashville area. So I think that's pretty awesome. So that actually brings me to my first part of it, man. I wanted to get a little background from you, and apparently, so your first show was in 2011, and it was kind of a hometown showish, right? It was the
It was my hometown. Yes, it was the
Hub City.
Hub City. Man, damn, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I try to do my homework, man. I've kind of gotten obsessed with you, and so not to make it weird or anything, but
I'm not weird at all.
But yeah, the Hub City, and I went to their website, and so is it a relatively small show, or?
Yeah, I mean it's not big by any means. It's for a local show, it does decent, especially for the area it's in. The promoters, Nick and Kate Shelby, are good friends of mine, very nice people. They work very hard at that show. They give out really nice trophies. They do the best they can with the area they're in. But like you said, it's just not a very it's growing, though. Yeah. It is growing, like fitness everywhere. It seems like shows I went to 3 or 4 years ago and I go to now, for the most part, besides a few select ones that have bonehead promoters, they're growing and doing well, and people are putting work into them, and you see the industry growing, and that's very encouraging for me. But yeah, it's still a pretty small show.
That's cool. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, you've had I know how those small shows can be. Like here we have like the Della Garcia Classic is one that I've done in the past, and we have like the Ronnie Coleman, but all of those are starting to grow. So you're right, man. The industry as a whole is really blowing up. So
yeah, all these divisions help.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point.
Back in the day, you could be a bodybuilder or you could do figure or women's bodybuilding. Now you got all this shit to choose from, which really helps.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so is it my understanding that you became an IFBB pro by the age of 21? So only 1 year of competing, is that right?
Yeah. Just to give you a brief rundown of the way it went. January of 2011. I just decided, I was like, I guess I just kind of knew there was had a lot of personal things going on in my life, kind of deterring me away from football. But I just had this urge and desire to do a bodybuilding show. It was just I can't really explain it, but my brother really pushed me. Brian Moss, a good friend of my brother, really pushed me into it. And then once I did that first one, so in January 2011, I decided to do it. May 2011 was the first show. So I prepped from in January, I was like 315 pounds and just finished playing ball.
Jeez.
And it wasn't the 315 I am now. And then I did the show 240. So from January to May, I cut like 60 pounds.
Holy crap, dude. That is crazy.
Yeah. And so I did the show. And then 2 weeks later, since I won that show, 2 weeks later in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is the city I was just talking about where I just moved from, there was another show and it was a national qualifier. And I was like, well, I won this one. Never expected to win, man. I just wanted to do it to see how good I could look, and maybe pick up a chick or two or something, I don't know. And
that's why we all get into it, yeah.
Right. I mean, let's be real. Like, why are you really doing it? What I'm saying? No. But
and you were only 21.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah. I was only 20.
20.
I was only 20. And I just turned 20 like 3 weeks before my first show, and I won the overall in the junior class there. And I thought, well, what the hell? Why not? I didn't really know what nationally qualified meant, but I knew this next show was a national qualifier. I didn't even know what the national shows consisted of. Like, I didn't know that there was a difference in junior nationals and USAs and North Americans. I didn't know none of that shit. Yeah. I was just like, well, nationally qualified sounds cool, so let's go for it. And so the next 2 weeks, I stayed in prep, and I did the Battle on the River in Chattanooga. I won the overall there as well. And that's when I was like, well, because I competed against some good guys. Benny Blair, who was a good friend of mine who actually passed a couple years ago. Rest in peace, Benny. He competed against me. My good friend Andrew Hall. Some good bodybuilders, people that I kind of knew of and was like, man, these guys are reputable. And I beat them. So I was like, well, maybe I got something here. And so I decided to kind of take an off season, but even then, the off season wasn't that serious. I was still not struggling, but still having to work for a living, besides not that I don't work for a living now. I definitely work. Yeah. But I was having to do, typical job type stuff.
Sure.
Bouncing, shit you do when you're 20, 21. Yeah. I was bouncing in the bars, working, odd and end jobs, this, that, and the other, working for my brother at the gym. And I ended up winning the overall there, and I just kind of went into a little off season, and because I never really put much. All I'd done is a prep. I never really put much effort into bodybuilding. Yeah. I was just like, well, I'm just gonna get lean and do a couple shows.
Sure.
So I was like, well, let's see where we can go from here, and then built up a little bit, and then the next year, September 2012, when I was 21, I did the North Americans. I won the overall there. Thanks to Dan Decker actually winning the Masters. And a lot of people don't remember this, but you do. If it wasn't for Dan Decker winning the Masters, I never would have turned pro at that show.
Wow.
This is how it worked. There was the 40, the Masters division went before.
Over 35,
It's over 35 went first.
Yeah.
So when he won his pro card, because he had done both, when he won his pro card, they were like, okay, that's it. They weren't going to let him go back to win a second pro card, because then you're just taking the spot of somebody else.
Yeah.
So by the vacuum created by, basically he would have won all of it.
Yeah.
Because he won before, just because the class is how they do Masters first. When it got to Open, he was out of it. And then Dallas.
So needless to say, to this day, I still love Dan Decker.
So I was going to say, can we say Dan created Dallas McCarver? No, I'm just kidding.
In a way, if it wasn't for
do you think there's a possibility that if, in your mind, if you wouldn't have won, do you think there's any chance that you would have not tried again, or would that potentially been it?
Ooh, good question.
I knew going out of prejudging that I was second to Dan. A lot of people told me I was competing for first. I am very hard on myself, and I saw the fucking pictures, and I don't think there was much competition. Dan is much older, much more developed, much more experienced bodybuilder. I think he had me, let's be real. But I knew I was coming in for second, so I was thrilled as hell. I was backstage. First time at a national show. I just got second. I'm nationally qualified for another year.
So you would have come back no matter what.
Oh, I was bit by the bug. I was already making plans to fly down and do nationals in a few weeks.
Nice.
So if I didn't win there, I probably would have won nationals anyways. I don't know. Justin Compton won nationals. I might not have beat Justin then. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
But anyways, it's woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Right.
But the point is, a lot of people forget that's how I actually won my pro card was Dan turning pro in the Masters. So
that's cool, man.
Love you, Dan Decker.
So that brings me to a little bit of kind of like the current, I guess, a little bit. So obviously, you had an interesting start because it was like you were obviously like just a natural gifted, but like you were born to do this. To be honest with you, or that's what it seems like. And
I was born to do this. I was born to be big.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, and I say that a lot because me and Aaron talk about this from time to time. I honestly think I could be just as good of a strongman as a bodybuilder.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
To be honest, I mean, maybe even more dominant. I don't know.
For sure.
And I'll probably never know because I'll probably never go down that road. But the point is I have a very broad frame. I have very sturdy joints. Pretty decent lifting mechanics. Thanks to my previous coach Matt and some other people I've worked with too. And so. Yeah, I mean, I come from a big family, man. In my family, I'm the runt.
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
I've got cousins in Mississippi that are anywhere from like 6'6", 6'8" to, they're all over 6'4", whatever, 6'2", 6'4", and they're weighing 3 bills to 400.
Wow, and that's just the women.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Talking to their sons. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, man, I come from a big family. I'm just blessed with a big frame. It's actually the struggle of my career has been filling out the frame I have.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is something me and Chad talk about often is realistically, it's crazy to think, but I could still hold 30 to 40 more pounds.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it is crazy to think, man, because you are definitely one of the biggest bodybuilders on the scene or largest bodybuilders on the scene. But because of your height, too, and your frame.
Largest, not biggest. That's true. That's very good.
But because of your frame, it is amazing to think that you could actually even add to that. Like, wow, that's crazy. So let me ask you this, man. Like, it's my understanding that since since Sean Ray back in 1987, he was the only other guy that went pro at the age of 21. I don't know if you knew that or not, but apparently you and Sean Ray were like the onlys apparently.
To be honest with you, man, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not that savvy on my bodybuilding history.
Sure.
When it comes to that. So I don't want to make any claims or anything.
Sure.
But if that's what you read.
Yeah, so Flex Online actually posted that. They said it was crazy that you had become a pro at such a young age and that the only other time that they knew that had happened was with Sean Ray. And he's obviously a legend. I've met Sean. I mean, he's a cool dude. But it's awesome, man. I mean, you're definitely going to be somebody, or already are somebody in the industry, but I think everybody's predicting big things. So I'm curious, what's your ultimate goal, man? Are you here to dethrone Phil Heath, or what's going on, man?
Man, honestly, I love to train. I love to compete because it gives me. I'm a very goal-driven person, and it gives me for me the joy isn't in competing and winning. It's the joy in this now is these past 15 weeks of hell I've gone through. In these next 2 weeks, it's like going through 3-a-days in football camp. It's just the hardest fucking thing you can think of, pushing your body every day, just with everything you got. The diet, the training. I mean, you hurt. It's uncomfortable. It's misery. I love it. And because it's you're pushing your body to be something that, I mean, let's face it, 5 or 6 people on the earth can be.
Sure.
I placed 8th at the Olympia, so let's just say that, let's say I'm capable of doing something with my body that only, 10, 15 other people on the earth can do. It's cool, man. And it's
amazing.
It's very motivating for me. But as far as, do I want to win this? Do I want to win that? Do I want to beat Phil? Do I want to beat this person? Do I want to, whatever? Man, I just love doing this. And my main goal, honestly, is to make the best living I can doing this while I'm doing it, which is something I picked up from Aaron. As you know, Aaron's a freaking genius businessman.
He is. He's awesome.
My real goal is I want to make the best living I can doing this, and hopefully be able to set up a future and retire from this and have a comfortable, nice life. This is my job. This isn't. At one point it was fun, but now this is it is still fun. Don't get me wrong. I love what I do, but it's no longer just a hobby. I mean, this is this is putting bread on my table. You know, this is a way of me setting myself up for the future. So it's become much more than just fun now. It's, you know, it's very motivating to think that, you know, if I bust my ass maybe for the next 10 years, I could retire nicely, you know?
You do. That's so cool, man. And you're like I already assumed, and you're like one of the most down to earth bodybuilders that I've gotten a chance to talk with. Like I said, it's that southern good old boy thing, man. But I'm interested.
You're from the South, man. You're from Texas. You know how it is. If you were rude or you were a shithead or you're arrogant, you probably got your ass beat too.
Oh yeah.
You know, it wasn't from your folks. It was from you know, your friends.
Absolutely.
You know, I know when I grew up, you know, if you were a cocky little shit, there was somebody that come around knock your head loose and get that attention for you, you know, and so that's the way, you know, I just think that's it's what's wrong with the world, man. But that's a whole other subject.
No, well, what's interesting about it though, man, and so I spent some time in the Marine Corps, man, out of high school, like, and you know, between like growing up in the South.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You know, growing up in the South and then with the Marine Corps background, like you said, like tact and manners and all of that stuff is so important, and carrying yourself a certain way. And something I've noticed in the bodybuilding industry that kind of frustrates me, I know, and a lot of people is ego and pride and drama. And you don't seem like that guy. Like you don't seem like the ego guy or the drama guy. You don't really seem to throw mud. Like, can you speak on that? Does that ever bother you at all that you see a lot of that in the industry? Or maybe you don't. I don't know.
No, man. I'll be honest. It's funny to me. It's not funny. It fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
But it's ironic to me that for an industry where people post so much about motivation, uplifting, inspiring, and being inspirational, and you know, helping others, it's also very ironic that that same industry has more posts than anything you can find about people being negative and demeaning and belittling and shit talking and
Absolutely.
You know, hateful and just plain you know, if you don't like the way somebody looks, man, keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Like, why you get? I don't know. Don't get me started on that. But
no, and I think
that bothers the heck out of me, man.
Yeah.
There's so much negativity when in reality, like, number one, it's unnecessary, and number two, it's so counterproductive to what I think you should stand for as somebody who is. You work so hard every day, and you still just are that damn pissed off and negative. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it, man. I really don't. I don't know what's wrong with this.
So you know, my buddy, I have a really close friend of mine. He actually trains here at my gym. His name's Amin, and he actually he competed in Team Universe a few years back. Was a top 3 guy. Looks really good. He's a smaller framed guy, but he looks really good. And so he did a video with me one day, and he got to talking about bodybuilding in the industry. And one thing that he said, and I think you'd like this, he said, you know, he was gifted genetically like yourself and trains really hard and looks really good. And he has a lot of people looking up to him. And he says, you know, I think that you have the opportunity to either be the villain or the superhero. And I want to show people that you can use this for good and not have to be a shithead, you know, and not have to be a douchebag. So
absolutely, man. And that's, I think that's my mentality is it's, you know, I hate to be, I don't hate to be, I prefer not to be too, you know, religious or sentimental or anything like that, but
sure.
You know, if you're a religious person, you know, and you read scripture, or even if you're just a positive person,
yeah,
you know, we're encouraged to be a light in the world, man, and be a, you know, a beacon of hope and you know, positivity, and you know, number one, I think if you live your life that way, that's going to breed into your life. That's going to breathe that kind of positive. You know, good energy into your life. But number two, the golden rule: treat people like you want to be treated. You know, if it's ironic to me, is half the people that post all this would never post a picture. You know, like that video just came out of me posing and people ripping me. I'm like, dude, I just flown 2 flights. Like, whatever. Like, shut up. You know?
Yeah.
And obviously, I know I'm gonna be ready. If first off, if I look that bad, like Chad wouldn't have let me pose her gym, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But
Sure.
Yeah,
Dude, you
I
know,
can go on for days.
no, for sure. Well, your mindset is awesome, and I'll tell you, my buddy Amin is actually a very religious guy. He's gonna really like what you said, so I'm actually excited to tell him about that, man.
No, I mean it's true, and it's just, you treat people like you want to be treated, and these people, number one, they wouldn't have the balls or the guts to post a picture in their underwear with
Right.
their glutes hanging out, or flexing their abs, and then number two, if they did, they certainly wouldn't want to read the comments that me and various other bodybuilders and competitive bikini figure just competitive athletes in general that do try to encourage and post motivational progress pictures, whatever, inspire people, etc. And it's like you wouldn't want to read that about yourself, but yet it's okay for you to knock down somebody like that. It's just, it goes against everything I stand for as a man, and just to me it just shows some serious character flaws with people.
That's awesome, man. I'll tell you, man, us putting out YouTube content all the time, obviously the trolls are, with me, dude, I'm a smaller guy, and I'm talking about fitness stuff, and so it's constantly, just.
You can't know what you're talking about then.
Yeah, exactly.
You're shredded. You must be ignorant.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the way it goes, right?
That's right, man. That's exactly what we see, dude. It's bad. So let me get into a couple of training questions for you, man. First of all, I kind of did some research on Matt Jensen, man. Like he seems like a really cool guy, and that was your former coach, right?
Yeah. Matt is a very cool guy. He's as cool as they come, dude, and he's a hard worker. He's selfless. He's a good man. He's a good man, and it's unfortunate that our paths parted ways, but it wasn't out of hard feelings. It wasn't out of negativity. It was just simply out of, I thought I had to move on to somebody more experienced with dealing with bodybuilders of my size and muscularity and et cetera.
Yeah.
Because it opens a whole new can of worms when you get to a 300-pound guy versus a 200-pound guy. So.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, I mean, just looking into Matt a little bit, I really liked his training methodology, his philosophies. He seemed like you guys were really close, and everything was really cool there. So that's awesome, man. So he seems really cool. So let me ask you about. I saw a video where you were working with Joe Bennett, hypertrophy coach. Is that? Like, who are you working with now? Like, what's your coaching situation?
No, my coach is Chad Nichols, but
okay.
Who originally coached? I'm sure you know Chad Nichols is.
I do, and I didn't know he was working with you, and I apologize, I didn't see that.
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. I'm actually working with Chad now, but as far as Joe goes, Joe comes down and trains with me all the time. He helps me sometimes when I'm having trouble mapping out my training or figuring out exactly how I want to go about hitting different body parts. Joe's he's very intuitive and very educated as far as like how, each muscle works and all that. So Joe helps me a lot with my training and stuff. And then mainly, I mean, he's just a heck of a good training partner. He pushes me hard. Actually, he came down, he's been down here the last 2 days. I just got done training with him before I came in here.
Nice.
So yeah, man, I like Joe a lot. Good people.
Well, and that I was interested because like seeing between Matt and then looking at Joe, and I don't know as much about Chad. I know who he is. I don't know a lot about his training methodology, but it seems like both of the other guys, they're very like knowledge and evidence driven, and I think in bodybuilding you kind of see two worlds. You kind of see like the bro world where it's just raw, gritty, like just hard ass work, which is awesome, very Branch Warren style. But then you also see kind of the guys like Ben Pekulski as an example that are really chasing the knowledge side of things. So like, where do you find yourself, man? Or you seem like a well thought out guy, so it's not like you guys are just going in there, I mean.
I like to think of myself as the person that's bridging the gap.
Nice. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I like to think of myself as the person that, all right, you want to put 700 pounds on the bar and squat it till we puke? Let's go. Okay, you want to do some cable isolated dumbbell curl that burns like hell, or a cable isolated bicep curl that burns like hell? I'm down with that too. I don't think there's any right or wrong way. I mean, obviously there's a wrong way. I don't think there's any one way to train. And just like there's in most things in life, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Dude, that's a brush.
So,
That is a breath of fresh. Like an IFBB bodybuilder on your level to say something like that, because, dude, like it seems like people really like to kind of point to like one true way. Yeah, exactly.
They love to speak in certainties, and it's funny because I got a funny feeling if me and you go train, and you know, you try to jump in with me, you might not get the most out of the workout right away. You know, it's like you gotta keep in mind like what your goals are, what your training past is, you know, what your kilowork intake is. There's a lot of variables that go into training besides just put weight on bar, move bar, you know. And so but I still by no means am not afraid of heavy weight or hard work. So I like to think of myself as a guy to kind of bridge the gap there. Yeah.
Dude, that's perfect. So I actually own a personal training certification program called the Fitness Trainer Academy, and we certify trainers. And one of the things that I like to talk about with my students is that you have the knowledge kind of nerdy world, and then you have like the kind of bro science world. I said, but what's interesting is you really like can't discredit either one. With the knowledge side, like data is important, but at the same time, a lot of these nerds, they forget about the hard work. And so it's like, dude, you've got to find a happy median, you know?
You're very right. You're very right. And, you know, any good engineer that's gone through engineering school will tell you, you know, just because you can make something work on paper, don't mean it's going to work for shit in the real world.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's kind of my objection to some of that scientific stuff. And then also, you know, I have the same objection to some of the bro sciencey stuff, the old school mentality where it's like, yeah, you know, you're working hard, but you could work just as hard, but work smart.
Yeah,
you know, so.
Dude, that's cool, man. So, all right. So, with the training side, so you got some awesome people in your corner. What about diet, man? Like, are you a little bit more old school, like meal plan style? Are you a macro counter? Like, what's your? I noticed you were like weighing out supplements and stuff, and so obviously you're watching calories and macros. But I'm just curious what your style is.
Precise. I like to be pretty precise.
Right.
I mean, I do prep my meals. You know, especially if I'm going somewhere. Obviously, I prefer to eat them fresh. Who doesn't? But you know, you don't have all day to sit around and cook. But yeah, I'm very detail oriented. I'm probably too detail oriented at times. Get too caught up in planning and you know let it stress me out more than it should.
Yeah.
Especially like you know 20 weeks out. Stressing like hell over, you know, 3 ounces of potato or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, then again, that's the kind of attention to detail it takes.
Sure.
You know, and to me, that's just one more variable of intensity. Is this whole industry, this whole competitive bodybuilding thing? It's all about intensity, not just in the gym, but you got to be intense when it comes to, you know, you got to be on your shit, you know, with your diet and your supplements. Oh, it's time to eat. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just skip this meal or wait a couple hours. Oh, fuck that, eat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's yeah. So I was curious about that. Like, does Chad do all your macro adjustments and all that? Okay, cool. What about peak week, man? I know like back in the day, like there were all these extreme peak weeks and stuff. Are you guys doing a more subtle peak? I'm assuming y'all have a methodology down by now.
Can't talk too much about it.
Yeah. Okay. The trade secret.
Because nothing not that I don't even think Chad would mind, but it's not my information to diverge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yes, Chad is very old school, like you know, consistent foods. We're not going to use no like, you know, junk loading, all that new shit. You know, he's very by the book, very you know, what you would expect from a 90s bodybuilder, which is the look I want.
So I know I don't know if you actually do any like coaching or training or anything yourself, or if you're just purely an athlete. But I'm curious, like you know, we have to like separate the competitive bodybuilding world from like the people that are kind of the fans of bodybuilding that want to see results, you know. And so would you make the suggestion to somebody that's trying to look better and trying to be like maybe even just regional level, you know, bodybuilder, would you recommend a diet like yours, or would you recommend something more flexible or lenient? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think people can be too extreme? You know what I mean?
It just depends on how bad you want it, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The more extreme or hardcore you are, obviously the more results you're going to yield. But the key thing I think is you have to have a plan you can stick to.
Yeah.
So if you go from not dieting at all to 6 meals a day, 10 ounces of protein, no carbs, you're not gonna stick to that shit. You're gonna do it for a day, be sick, be over it, throw it out the window and be right back to square one eating donuts.
Yeah, the psychology behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I think the best plan for somebody looking to get into this is one you can stick to with your lifestyle, with your job, with whatever,
Good shit. Yeah, I agree with that. Consistency, yeah. So with supplements, obviously we do supplements here at PricePlow, and Redcon. Obviously, Redcon's got you on here. So what's a normal like stack for Dallas look like? And is there any like stuff that you think is just straight up just BS that you wouldn't take?
Typically for me, like let's do off season, because during prep, especially this close, things change. You don't take a whole lot of supplements, this close to the show, because you don't want all the sweeteners or gelatin from the caps or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say off season, typically, I might have like a serving of double tap, our fat burner before my cardio, and then I'll mix up like 2 scoops of breach, sip on it while I'm doing my cardio, and then drink the rest on my way home. And then when I get home, sometimes I'll mix like cream of rice and whey or isotope or whey isolate for my first meal, maybe like some peanut butter and honey or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll eat steak, but I'm just giving examples of like supplements I do use.
Yeah, for sure.
I typically always have a shake, post-workout and a pre-workout shake too. I'll do like some Total War, some Cluster Bomb, sip some more breach with Cluster Bomb during my workout. Obviously, the amounts change depending on how I'm looking at stuff, how many carbs I need on that particular day. But yeah, and then I love our fade out before bed.
I've heard. I haven't tried it yet, man. We have some here, and I want to review it, man. But I heard it's good.
It's really good for me. I know this is weird, and people probably think I'm dumb, but I love to take like about 1.5 scoops of it, or a big heaping scoop of it, and just sit down and watch a movie, because it's like total just like tranquility. You're just like,
yeah,
and just drift off to sleep, and get a good night's sleep from it. So
that's funny, dude. Because I was literally having a conversation with somebody the other day, and we were actually talking about the over-the-counter sleep medicine. But I was like, do y'all ever like to take that and then fight the sleep a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny, man. That's cool. So
it's taking Ambien and not sleeping, but
right, yeah. So Redcon, man, is dude. I can't say enough good things about Aaron Singerman, and then Redcon has been the coolest fucking brand that we've been able to work with. So you were with BSN and then made the switch over. What's your experience been like, dude?
It's been a dream.
Yeah.
It's been a dream. Aaron takes great care of me, not only financially, but he is probably the best person you could ask for business advice, in this industry especially. And everything here is I have a good support team. They care not only about me as an athlete and as a person as far as the brand goes, but they care about me and my well-being, and it's good, man. It's good. I couldn't be happier.
That's awesome. Well, I can tell you, man, I don't know how long you were with BSN, but when I was doing some research, Redcon has really put you out there more than I've ever seen you. Your promotions and your name is just blowing up.
It was the first month with Redcon that I did with BSN the whole time I was with them.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I really like the products too, man. We gave Total War a really raving review, man. The formula he's got going on with the DMHA and everything, it's really, really solid. And I like the military theme stuff, man. Obviously being a vet, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. I like the look. I like the brand. When he contacted me, the first thing I told him is I was like, I'd like to see all of your products. I'd like to see the ingredients, because I don't want to ever be in a situation where I have to represent, another situation where I have to represent a company that makes products that, obviously you're not going to take every product every day.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right.
But I do want to work for a company that makes products that I can use.
Sure.
And so he sent me all over the ingredients, and there were a few things like the whey. He had a blend, and I was like, no, I only drink whey isolate. So we changed that. You know, which actually most people don't know, but our isotope's actually one of the most expensive manufactured proteins on the market right now.
Wow.
And it's very good.
Are you an isolate only drinker because of like, do you have stomach problems?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of that shit I'll pew back up, that egg protein and all that shit. You know, we gotta, actually, I don't know if I can tell you about that or not.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
There's something coming out. But,
well, I'll cut it out if we can. Just we'll check in with Aaron, but that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. And then the Total War, you know, I offered a few tweaks to the formula there, some other various things. But yeah, man, he was like, okay, if that's what you want. And I was like, yeah. And then so now we got products I can use to represent happily, you know. So
yeah,
it makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, sleep better at night too.
You know what's cool, man? You know what's cool about talking with you is I'm noticing, like, when we're talking about training, diet, and now supplements, you're not like some dude that just like kind of just does what he's told. Like you're also like involved in the process. Like you seem to like want to know and learn and educate yourself along the way. You know what I mean? So that's really, really cool. So.
Well, I think if you're serious about anything in life, whatever it is, whatever your goal is, you got to put forth the work and to educate yourself and to make yourself knowledgeable. You can't just sit around and, you know, let other people walk you around and guide you, you know, your whole life. I mean,
yeah,
put some damn work, you know?
Hell yeah, man. Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so I only have a couple more things, man. I know you are like grumpy and probably low carb, man.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
So, okay, let's see here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. You guys are not going to believe what just happened. All right, man. So we just blue screened on Aaron and Dallas, man.
The legitimate blue screen of death ended that. So we apologize that it had to end, but we were able to recover the file as you saw the rest of the interview. We'd like to thank Dallas McCarver so much for taking the time out. He chatted with us on Skype and said, okay, he had to go eat anyway. So, you know, that's most important. Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to Redcom One. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to take this time just to say how incredibly impressed I was with Dallas. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get an opportunity to talk with Aaron that much. I think he might have went on a business call or something. And Mike wasn't able to hear, which you still haven't even watched the video.
I haven't, no.
He couldn't hear because I had headphones in.
Mm-hmm.
But man, like this guy's a breath of fresh.
He messed that up in the interview too. We're gonna hear that in the comments.
He's Dallas is really a breath of fresh air in bodybuilding because you know, the truth is there's a lot of ego around there. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of you know, the kind of bashing and stuff. And this is a guy that really shocked me with how down to earth he is. Very good old boy Southern, you know, hospitality type. And you know, said a lot of things that were, I think, meaningful to me as a fan of bodybuilding, as a coach, as somebody that has struggled with seeing some of the dark side of it. To hear him like say some of the things he did, I think were very, very important to me. So I think he really made his way up there. I didn't know a lot about the guy there in the beginning, but I think he's made his way up to my one of my top bodybuilding favorites now. You know,
awesome.
After that. So and you know. Anyway, thank you so much, Dallas.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
we're pulling for you, Dallas. We really appreciate it. And, you know, we're going to get this video up as soon as possible before the Arnold. So best of luck to you because it's coming fast. And we know how, you know, depleted you're going to start to get and everything. So really, once again, appreciate that interview.
Yeah, and, you know, Aaron, for setting this up. I mean, you're amazing. I look up to you as an entrepreneur, as a business guy. Like, your product's amazing and what y'all are doing. And like I said, I think you have the right athlete to really push this brand, and y'all together, I think it's going to be a really big thing. So, thank you
keep at it, boys. Thanks again.